insurance. Bear with me a few minutes. Good afternoon. Kevin and I have been friends for over 40 years. Raymond Deerfield Fire Departments have worked together better than any other departments in the area for many years. The last 21 years, Kevin and I have always made sure and had each other's back to make sure that our towns were covered and the residents were safe. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin and I have served on many committees over the years, but the IU has been a passion. Everywhere we go in New Hampshire, everybody knows Chief Pratt. He always has a smile and always waves to everyone. In 1993, I asked Kevin to bring a movie to our annual oyster stew. Well, I was in Jamaica on vacation. He sure did, X-rated. Today, he still blames it on somebody else for taking over it, but we have never let him forget it. A few years ago, I got back at him by having Aunt Henrietta roast him at our annual oyster stew. Thank you, Carrie, for getting all the dirt on him. We even found out there was a pair of bikini underwear found in his car while dating in his early years. Not sure if they belong to Ann, only Kevin knows. Also, Kevin, do you remember the night that we attended the Seacoast Chiefs meeting in Lee? On the way home, we bashed that meeting all the way home. All of a sudden, by the time we got to Nottingham, Raymond Dispatch called Kevin on the radio and said, "Shut your phone off, we're listening to everything." There isn't a day that doesn't go by that Kevin and I don't talk on the phone. That is what friends are all about. Over the last few years, Kevin and I have gone through the same headaches in our town. No one will ever know how many hours it takes to do the job as chief, only our wives. And maybe now you'll have your husband back to enjoy life with you. Also your family, or most of all, your grandchildren. Kevin, I feel that you have been one of the best chiefs in the area. It has been a pleasure to work with you. I will miss you in my last few months. In 7 months, 24 days, 2 hours, I will retire. I wish you and Ann the best of luck in the future. I hope you and Ann will join Donna and I in Florida next winter for our vacation. And the office still stands for you to come to Deerfield and play anytime. Take care, buddy. Also, on behalf of the Deerfield Volunteer Fire Association, I'd like to present 2 gift certificates. One for $100 so you can take Ann out at Tuckaway, and the other one is for you for Chapel Tractor to buy something for your tractor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to point out a few of the other items we have up here. A couple of the guests that brought in these items didn't wish to speak, and that's fine. We have a pretty good size happy retirement card here. Appears to have quite a few signatures inside of it, which also goes with this shiny can. Lord only knows what that is, but very nice fire extinguisher, polished up. We also, one of our firemen has mounted one of his helmets and made this little plaque thing up back here with the fire nozzle on it and things. A few other things, obviously, helmets that he's worn over the ear, his jacket. Chief Pratt and I go back quite a long ways. We played Little League together. I mean, that's how far back we went. He gave me my first baseball glove, only because his mother brought a left-handed one, and he's not left-handed. Thank you very much. I still remember that. Kevin, also, maybe hard to believe, back in high school, he was on the soccer league. We actually, and again, I was right there with him, we won the SEL, Southeastern League, back in, was it 73, 74?
73,
I'm told. Why, did we beat you? obviously, we went through high school together. After high school, we got into different careers. The chief actually opened up the Sunoco station, again as a garage, and tried to make a living out of there for a while. It was a pretty interesting ride. I used to go and help him quite a bit because I was self-employed also. We would take a ride up to the local Nickerson's parts store right in the center of town, and he would go in and he'd buy a part for a car. And he'd look at that and he'd say, "That's too much, I can't charge them that much." Nor do I. He'd buy a part for $100 and charge them $50. And we wondered why at the end of the week we didn't have enough to go out to lunch. His grandmother was always there because, like I said, we really didn't make a lot of money back then, and she would feed us quite regularly. One of her sayings, and I wrote this down because I found it to hold true for him: "You do as you've a mind to." She was always saying that, and when he got something in his mind, by God, that's the way it was going to be. His grandfather had a fire truck. The fire truck's still there, as far as I know, hasn't been stolen. He decided one day we're going to take this fire truck to a parade. We worked on that, we got it polished up and got it going great. I don't remember what the lineup was, but for some reason, the chief decided he had to drive down over Bean Hill. Now, back in the old days, we could ride on the back of fire trucks, and this being a private vehicle, we certainly were on the back of that. I don't remember who was with me. Chuck Perkins, I guess, according to the chief. And down over Bean Hill we went, when he started to holler out the window, "Hang on, the brakes have failed." Now, one would assume when you got to the bottom of Bean Hill, it would have been a lot easier to turn right and merge with traffic. No, because we were going the other way. We did turn left. Obviously, we made it. Another interesting story down at that garage, and there's so many of them. There's so many stories, but I've tried to keep this family orientated. Years ago, obviously, when he was running the garage, I used to assist him. And somehow or another, I was working on a Ford, because he always made me work on the Fords, and I managed to cut that finger in the fan of the Ford. Chief says, "Get in my Impala, drive you right up to the fire station, the ambulance is there, we're going to take a ride in the ambulance." We jumped in that old Impala. Now, back then, the chief had a habit of going out back and seeing what his grandfather had kicking around, and he found a siren about that big. It was huge. He pulled out to the street, and we looked down towards Moulton's, and there was a car coming, so he stepped on that button to blow that siren, and the car stalled. That siren had killed the battery. It had so much draw that it killed the battery. There we sat, and he kept clicking that ignition. "Don't worry, don't worry." Still laughing like he always does. "Don't worry." I'm sitting there bleeding. Finally it started, and off we went. Well, and he will not bail on it. He's right there by your side. He insisted on going to the hospital, and he insisted on every week afterwards, when I had to go back and get the stitches out and all that work, he was right there by my side, same way as he is with the rest of the firemen. Anytime there was a problem, he was always right there with them. Stop that. However, after we left the Exeter Hospital, he always, this is in July, he always found the necessity to drive to Hampton Beach. Now, when you got an open wound and you get in the salt air, it's really not that pleasant. However, some of the scenery would take your mind off of it. We raced together. He had a race car for quite a number of years. As a matter of fact, he started, he had several race cars, always had a good time down there racing. Back in the 70s, we plowed snow together. We worked for the town of Raymond at the highway department. He was my wingman. We're always together, one way or the other. Unbelievable. We plowed the blizzard of 78. I still remember that, and you still remember that blizzard of 78. That was a snowstorm. He tried, as he said, he has joined the fire department as soon as he could back in 75, and he tried to get me on the fire department with him. Back then, it was a selected group that could get on the fire department. You actually had to live in the hydrant district at one time. And it opened up from there. Eventually it got opened up enough so that I could get on the fire department, and we went down that avenue together. Spent many, many years together on the fire department. Obviously, as has been said, back in '88 he became chief, replaced the former chief. He's done a lot of different things for this department. We moved, obviously, into this facility. He was instrumental in getting the location and getting this building set up for us. He replaced some of the old fire apparatus. We bought that in 1990 Pierce, sitting out there. He bought a 1994 tank truck. That's sitting out there. He also decided we needed a tower truck. When the Walmart distribution was coming into town, he was told specifically by the town manager, don't scare them away. Don't tell them you need anything. Well, you got, what's that, how many acres that cover? 25-acre building down there. He thought we might need a tower truck. We may need to get up above that. So he told them we may need a tower truck, and we got a tower truck. They paid, we bought a used tower truck. He got a letter in his file. But by God, we got that tower truck. Several years went by, and we decided that truck was getting tired. It was blowing out smoke, and it really needed to be replaced. The chief found another truck. It was down in Alabama, real close by. The chief decided we needed to fly down and see it. It was this time of year. As a matter of fact, we were there for Cinco de Mayo. I remember that. Chief doesn't drink, by the way. So. Anyways, we got down there. They picked us up in a van at the airport. He got out of the truck, and I still remember his words to this day. He looked at that truck, and he said, "Yup, it's a Pierce." He loves Pierce. Pierce is a good manufacturer, and that truck sits right there, as a matter of fact. He's done a real good job. He's a people person, obviously. Everybody knows that. I felt so bad for him. I made Crystal cry. I didn't mean to. Again. I said, you know, your father's a people person. His first day in retirement, he's basically trapped at his house. He didn't have a vehicle that he could drive. And he's there. He called me up on the phone. I could tell he was lonesome. He says, hey, I've got a few things I need to get out of the Tahoe. So I brought it up, and he, maybe I shouldn't have said that in front of the van, but he lugged in 4 or 5 more boxes out of the Tahoe. She knows that, obviously. But again, he's a people person. He loves to be around people. As everyone has said before, he's always waving to everybody. In Alabama, he's waving to people. Some of them are waving back. I had we got a lot of memories together. I wanted to stay on some humorous side of this, keep it light. I think I've accomplished that. I do have a gift for Chief Pratt, because you should have. I'm going to give him my wallet. Open that little thing up. That says, retired chief. Nice gold badge with a wallet in there. 4 more payments and it's yours. He actually gave me one of his badges. He gave me his chief's badge so that I could represent the department as he has for so many years. And I just want to say at closing that, well, I'm closing, but there's going to be another speaker here. It's going to be Chief Pratt, as a matter of fact. And I just want to say I am proud to call Chief Pratt my friend.
That's really great. Paul has been with me all those years. We've done a lot of the midnight auto down the garage. He'd come by on a Friday night, we'd take a transmission out, put it back in again, and did a lot of different things like that. Got paid in case of Mountain Dew. We realized we couldn't stay in business very long doing that. We managed to get a few years in before we had to stop. The racing years were fun. Paul mentioned I had several cars. It was 5 years of racing. Paul had 1 car in 5 years. I had 5 cars in 5 years. I had a lot of fun. I didn't make any money, but we worked all week to put it back together for the next week, and race again, and then have to put it back together for the next week. You can only put it together so many times. We still have one of them, the General Lee, the General Pratt. I prepared a little something to say here. Don't worry guys, it's going to be a short meeting. Let's say that one more time. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank the committee that made this day happen. Pratt and Ann put so much work into this. I've lost my place already, Crystal. Crystal, you have great organizational skills. Great job putting this together. If I ever run for any office, I'm going to have you be my campaign manager. I don't think anybody in New Hampshire doesn't know I'm retiring right now. Maybe not in this country. Went viral after she put it online, and 30,000 people saw it. So we got good billing by you, Leah. Little comfy Christmas. Also, Ann, you step up here. You get your speech prepared. I want to thank Ann for all of her patience. For the many nights I've been at meetings, and the many nights I've been around. The to-do list is quite long, so I have a lot to do there. Thank you for everything. And also Trey Bushy. Trey, he's been a big help for this week. Jean and Joan Larrabee. Where are you guys? How about waving? It might be about with the food. Oh, hey! Jean and Joan. Working in people's houses and working in the streets, and again at this party, I want to thank you guys. Vicki and Ed. Where's Vicki and Ed? Hey, there you go. A little something for you guys. This is for Ed. Really? Really? That's for you guys. It helps a lot with this party, and it's helped us a lot over the years. Every training night, years ago, we talked to the firemen and said, you know, the numbers are dwindling on the training nights, what can we do to get more people? Somebody said, how about food? So I thought about that, I said, how am I going to do that? And then Vicki came forward, and Ed, and that's been a family tradition of theirs, where they used to come from to feed the firemen, for the family of the Yorks to feed the firemen. So they came forward and offered to do that, and we've been doing it for a couple of years now, every training night. At no charge to the town, so it's been a real big help to us, and our numbers went up. So thank you very much. Of course, I want to thank the firefighters, women firefighters, the family away from home, my brothers and sisters of the fire department, Paul Hammond, and Deputy Chief Rusty, all working on this party here. Rich Nunziato, who couldn't make it today, Jerry, my brother's here, firefighter of 40 years there. I have a little something for everybody afterwards, so don't leave early. Got a little something to give out before we're done. Also the churches of town. We have great churches in Raymond. Every church has great leadership and lots of wisdom. So take advantage of those churches in town. Every one of them has been a big help to the people of Raymond, and I want to thank them for everything they've done. So I don't know all donated all the food. I want to thank all those people. But I know I can thank Hannaford's and Market Basket and all the restaurants in town all donated something. So, and then the individuals, lots of individuals that bought stuff by. So I want to thank everybody. Wasn't part of the planning, so I don't know who to thank. So we'll find out and we'll thank them later. But thank you very much, everybody. Now it's time for a little talk about fire department. All right, for the fire service. Raymond was incorporated. This is going to take a bit. Was incorporated in 1764 when they split the some meetings. In 1764, when they split from Chester and Poplar. In 1892, Raymond had a conflagration in the center of town where over 20 buildings burned flat in Raymond. 20 buildings, over 20 buildings, mostly businesses. So in 1893, they had a town meeting where they voted down the fire department. Then in 1894, they decided, let's have a fire department. The Raymond Fire Department started 130 years after it was incorporated. Most of the fire members knew firsthand what it was like to lose the work of a lifetime. So they took the job of firefighting very seriously. Many of the people that lost their buildings were the first firefighters at Raymond. The members got to work right away. The first fire chief, General Belsa, donated lumber from the firefighters' own trees and their labor to build a two-bay station in the center of town. This building stands today, 110 years later, still being used, as a true testimony to volunteerism in Raymond. And it's a nice, the town has done a very nice job of keeping it up, painting it, and taking care of it year after year now. In 1901, Daniel Belsa died. Was so loved by his firefighters, they bought him a headstone. Octavius Fellows became the second chief. Both of these pictures, 110 years later, are on the walls of the town hall. And you can see those when you go through. There's a lot of pictures to be looked at in the town hall, so make sure you make a trip through there and see all that. Let's see. So the members built the first ladder wagon. Didn't look much like this one. They built the first ladder wagon in the early 1900s from an old town hearse, and that was drawn by one horse. We'll fast forward 50 years, and the same dedicated and ingenuity was demonstrated by Fire Deputy Chief Raymond Smith and Sam Pratt. They had built their own fire truck. That was my grandfather's father. They took a Marquardt oil truck, one of the first motorized oil trucks from Marquardt, and turned it into a forestry truck. This went to many forest fires over the years. It went everywhere. It was only two-wheel drive, but it went everywhere. It never got stuck. Very few got time to get stuck. And it was down the tannery fire, protecting the woods from the tannery when the tannery burned in 1974. So this truck could go anywhere, and was well maintained and repaired at Smith's Mobile Garage, as we talked about earlier. Ray and Kerry Smith also was very instrumental in running the red phone system that answered all the emergencies in the daytime and turned on the siren whenever we needed to for emergencies or meetings. This is how my brother Kerry and I got interested in firefighting at around age 5. We were going to trainings and training fires, and parades with my grandfather in his own fire truck. At age 7, we rode in Raymond's largest parade to date, the 200th anniversary of the town of Raymond in 1964. A massive parade with thousands of people that came to it. In the late 70s, Gary and I were riding the tailboard along with Paul and a few other guys in here, very few other guys, because that's quite a while ago. But in the 1970s, we were riding the tailboard of Engine 1, Engine 2, and Tank 3, and the 44. We still have the 44 today. In those days, we wore plastic gloves, no hoods, no turnout pants or night hitches, and we used our ears as temperature gauges for the fire inside the building. But we survived. Over the years, we have seen a lot and saved a lot. A few of the 6,000 calls I responded to included house explosion, Littlefield Drive, large barn fire down at Rockingham County Farm full of horses and pigs and cows. Fuel trucks that rolled over, more than one of those. One of the first high-pressure natural gas truck rollovers in the country. Dynamite truck delivery truck rollover. Mall called the Silver Fox. Anybody remember the Silver Fox? That was a big fire. Here's an interesting one here. We went to the Stratum Tire Fire in Raymond. Then we went to the Stratum Tire Fire in Chatham. Then we went to the Stratum Tire Fire in Londonderry. We didn't go to the Stratum Tire Fire in the other town, but we made those the 3 first ones there. So they had a good insurance company. And then we went to Danville for the tire fire down there. We went to the Dept Fire in Raymond for the tire fire. We went to the Old Salt Fire. Everybody heard that on the news also. We took our ladder truck down there. It took a while because the ladder truck goes kind of slow, but we got it down there, and 5 ladder trucks were operating on that fire. We were covering the whole seacoast area with our truck. We had the food store fire, the Kemet Block, Supreme Pizza. Some of these will bring memories to you. We had a House of Supreme Pizza sprinkler activation. We had Legends Restaurant sprinkler activation. We had the ABC Apartment sprinkler activation. We had Quail Road sprinkler activation. You notice a little trend going there. We have a sprinkler ordinance in Raymond, and we saved millions of dollars with sprinklers already, and we believe we saved 4 lives already with sprinklers. So that was a worthwhile ordinance that we put in, and we did it. We've been to Missoula, Montana, and Tallahassee, Oregon for a couple of fires. Gary and I went to Moose Mountain, up in the White Mountains for a big giant forest fire. So we've been to some forest fires. We've had thousands of small fires. Working together as a team, Raymond Fire Department, with their brothers and sisters from the IU, the Interstate Emergency Mutual Aid Unit. And Mark Tibbetts was here today to represent them, and there's really a few more Deerfield firemen here. I'd like to say thank you to the Deerfield Fire Department for the years that we've worked together. One of the hardest working departments we ever called Raymond. Together, we have saved millions of dollars, multiple millions of dollars of taxable property and lives. And for the bean counters, at a fraction of the cost of what would have been lost, we paid for the fire department. This has forged friendships that will last a lifetime. Looking around, see the great town of Deerfield, Mark Tibbetts and his men, and we have many other towns here. I've noticed. I don't have a list of all of them, but we have can some people holler out what towns we have here, just so I know? Fremont. Hey, Fremont. All right. Bring the tank. Did you bring the trailer truck down today? No, not today.
You got that thing?
Oh yeah, there we go. Rhodia. This is Rhodia. Very good. Thanks for coming down, guys.
Brentwood, Chief.
In Brentwood. Yeah, over here. Yeah, very good. This is impressive. Candy is over there. Oh, it's being young over there. Hey guys, how you doing? We had a retirement party this morning in Brentwood, so I'm glad to see the Brentwood guys still made it here. Chief down there retired today, so we went down and said hi to him for a minute. So, I want to help all you neighboring towns, and I want to thank all the Raymond firemen for helping us help the people of Raymond. And it's been one of the biggest honors of my life to serve as fire chief for Raymond. Then there's the stress. The cases of tongues, the worry of safety and others. For your firefighters, for the people, the great people in Raymond. The budget, cost, the battles, the force, fire protection, the battle for trying to force people to use fire protection on their projects. We have looked to our fire chaplains, our great churches, and our families, and Alea Chadwick. I didn't see her come in today. She was going to be here. She's one of our strong points for the fire department. She helps us with critical stress debriefing. The positive power that she possesses will help a lot of people do a lot of things. I would like to thank the people of Raymond, the businesses, the town, the province, the Raymond firefighters, and most importantly, their families for helping to make our department an ISO 4 town. Very capable of the fire protection needed to protect the largest flat roof building in the state of New Hampshire. Paul said we say that a million times, so he doesn't need to say it again.
Feel free anytime.
All right. It's actually a 1.2